So the next thing I want to do is be able to add a log with this modal here. Now there's a particular way when I want to add a piece of functionality and I'm using Redux. There's a particular way that I do it. First, let's just close these up. What did I? Yeah, let's just save that. All right, so there's a particular way I'll do it. I'll first add the action. So in this case, we'll do an add logs, and then we'll dispatch to a reducer. Then I'll add the reducer functionality, which will control the state, and then I'll connect it to the component. So those are the three steps that we're going to take whenever we add a new piece of functionality. So let's start with the action. So we know we want to, excuse me, we know we want to add a log. So let's bring in the add log type, and then we'll create a function. I'm just going to copy this. And let's say add new log and paste that in. So we'll change this to add log. Now this is going to take in some data. So let's pass in log. And in our try, we're going to set loading. And then the response is going to be a bit different because we're making a post request. So we need to add. Remember, we're not using Axios, so we're not doing like Axios.post. With the fetch API, what we do is pass in an object and say that the method that we want to use is going to be post. And the body is going to be the data we're sending. I'm going to just JSON stringify it. So I'm going to use JSON.stringify, which is just a JavaScript method. Pass in log. So that's the body we want to send. And then we need to send content type. And the way that we do that is through the headers. And let's set content type. So it's similar to how Axios works. And I know a lot of you know how to use the fetch API, but just for those of you that don't. So this will be application/JSON. And all this would be the same if you had an Express backend, a Python, PHP backend, whatever, anything. So right here, we're going to leave that. That's the same. And then we're going to dispatch add log. And we're going to pass the data. And then the error is going to work the same way. We're just going to call logs error. So let's save that. That's the first part. Next is the reducer. So we want to also bring in add log here into the reducer. And then we want to add a case for it. So let's go under get logs and say case add log, and we're going to return from here state, and then we want to take the logs array, and remember state is immutable just like with the context API, so we can't just like push onto it or something like that. We're going to set it to an array and then use the spread operator to spread across state.logs, and then we're going to add onto it our action.payload, which is the new log that comes from the server. Okay, and then we're just going to set loading to false. So let's save that. That's the second part. So now we need to bring it into our component. So let's go to add log modal, because that's where we're going to run the action. And we need to bring in connect. Let's say import connect. Oops. Okay, now whenever you use connect, for the most part, you're going to have prop types because your actions are prop types and anything you bring in from state. Okay, or I should say are props. And actually one thing we forgot to do in logs is add our get logs action to prop types right here. So let's say get logs and set that to PTFR because that's a function. Okay, and I mean if you don't use prop types, it's not the end of the world, but it's good practice. Gives you some checking on your props. So let's bring in prop types as well. Now we're also going to bring in, let's go right here. We're going to bring in the action of add log. So we want to import add log from actions and then log actions. Now, since that's a prop, we're going to pass in right here, add log. And then let's go down to the bottom before we do anything else and export connect. Now we're not bringing in any state here. We're just calling an action. So I'm going to put null for map state to props, and then I'm going to add log here. Okay, and then we just need to surround the component name with parentheses. So let's do our prop types. We'll just do that here. So we'll say add log modal dot prop types, and we just have add log, which is a function. Okay, let's go back up here, and let's see. This is going to stay the same. It's a form, so we just have our component level state. We have our validation here, and then right here we're just console logging. Obviously, that's not what we want to do, so let's get rid of that. And what we want to do is create a new log. So I'm going to just create a new object here with the message from the form, the attention value, the tech, and the date. Now the date I'm going to set just to new date, so it gives us the current date and time. And then after that, we just want to call add log, which is our action, our Redux action, and we're going to pass in the new log. Okay, and then I'm just going to do an alert with m.toast, which takes in an object with HTML. Actually, I'm going to use backticks here so that I can say log added by, and then we can put in the tech name here like that. All right, and then that should be it. So we'll save that, and let's go back. Typo in class. Let's see, line 100. 100. Oh, this should be a lowercase p. Okay, so let's try to add a log. So we'll say changed network card on server 007. We'll say Sam Smith and enter, and there we go. So it has the ID of 4, the name, the date. If I reload, it sticks. Good. Now if we look in our db.json, you can see there it is. Now what I'm going to do is just clear out the logs, so just leave it as an empty array, and we'll add some through the application because I don't want the hard-coded ones. So let's reload this, and we get no logs to show, which is good. And let's say, again, we'll just say change network card in server 007. Log added by Sam Smith. Let's add another one. Let's say hard drive failed in workstation 002. Say Sarah Wilson, and this one needs attention. Enter. There we go. That works. Let's do one more. We'll say I don't know, 1122 wireless down. Needs attention. Good. Now I just want to check something here in the console. All right, so now you can see that date thing is now gone because we have the correct date format. All right, so we should have no problems in the console. We should have no problems here either. Good. So in the next video, I think what I'd like to do is the delete. I want to be able to delete logs, which should be pretty easy. Once we do that, we'll do the edit, which is going to be a little more difficult because when we click this, we need to get the current log into the form and stuff like that. Okay, so we'll start to work on that stuff next.